Hey, welcome to Viking Preparedness. Excuse me, I am Pastor Joe Fox here at our alternate secret location. I'd like to talk a little bit more about the concept of what we call our community work day, which I posted a video earlier today on Patreon, and then after that I posted another one on YouTube. Most of y'all probably seen it, right? And there's a lot more going on there, I think, than that meets the normal eye if people aren't looking deeply enough. On the one hand, yeah, we get together fairly regularly. We get a lot of people together on one project and we can hammer it and get a lot done in a short amount of time. It's just pure man hours, right? Working on something. And, in the past we've done things like shingle roofs, put up roofs, make a pasture, work in an orchard, spread mulch, all kinds of things, move rocks, whatever. And so yeah, on the surface, we're getting a lot done quickly, and that helps people, and that's cool. But man, there is so much more to it than that. And here's the deal: a team, call it whatever you want, tribe, team, unit, organization, is forged through shared experiences that the team goes through. And when the team endures some form of hardship together and comes out the other side successfully, that tightens up the team. When we do a work project, it's not all sweetness and light. Some of it's hard. People get hurt, skin knuckles or whatever. People get tired. People get thirsty. And what you learn there is how people act, not necessarily under pressure, but under a certain kind of pressure, right? Under a certain kind of duress, under stress, physical stress or mental stress, or sometimes there's a time factor. None of it's false. We don't design, the executive obstacle course to do this, which is a thing. We just do real work. But you get to see people as they really are, and you get to know within your group people's strengths, people's weaknesses. People get to see their own strengths and weaknesses compared to the group. So, maybe they can work on some or maximize others. People are appreciated for the things they can contribute. And it just goes to building a team, making a better team, a better group, a better community, a better mag. The other thing, and if you look at the video, you'll notice we had very young children there. I don't know, the youngest was probably 5 or 6, something like that. And we had older people, older than me there, the whole spectrum. And a challenge is to find something for everybody to do. Everyone has to contribute. And so you wouldn't want to schedule I wouldn't want to schedule for the community work project something like putting together one of those metal sheds where you're just screwing the little screws and the little nuts together through pieces of sheet metal. Not everybody could contribute. But you could do that at the same time weeding the garden, at the same time, burning trash or whatever. You could have several different little chores together. But you have to let everyone contribute, from the little kids who, can only do what little kids can do, all the way up to the older people who have physical limitations, right? But everybody contributes. And when everybody contributes, everybody feels good. They feel like they're adding something to the team, and that builds team strength too. It also lets people see if anywhere in the back of their mind they're like, oh, that old dude can't carry anything, he's old and broke. But then he starts doing something else. It's like, oh yeah, if he didn't do that, I would have had to do that, right? And so it just allows everybody to contribute, and it also forces everybody to contribute, right? Nobody in that environment, at least with the kind of people we surround ourselves with, would feel comfortable just sitting around while everybody else was working. Does that make sense? So everybody gets to do that. The other thing is just, team building, community forming, that kind of thing. It takes time. You can't shortcut the time. There's no way you can form a team on the internet, on Facebook, and you talk to each other 5 hours a day online, and you get together once when the whole thing happens, the balloon goes up, and think it's going to work. It's not going to work. You have to spend time with each other. You have to learn how people really are. You have to learn to love them for who they are, right? And it takes time. And I did a sermon the other day about the importance of breaking bread together. We usually include food in what we do, and today we had people bring food, and then sometimes the one person will kind of take on the main part of the meal, and so we had chicken and salad and fresh muffins that people made and stuff like that, and drinks, and everybody just sits around and breaks bread together and fellowships and eats and shares, and it's good. It's good that way. We stopped it for a while because I don't care what we do, right? As a group, I don't care what we do, and I don't really care where we do it because not all Shofarians live on Shofar Mountain directly, right? But we all live pretty close to each other. And so for the longest time, no one was volunteering for things, so all the projects were done on Shofar Mountain. And, we as Americans, I talked about this in the sermon yesterday too. We as Americans are really independent minded, and we don't want to say I need help, or I'd like help, or I could use help, or I appreciate help, because I don't need any help. I'm a tough guy, and survivalists are worse, right? And so after a while I said, all right, until somebody else says they've got something to do at their place, we're not going to have everybody over. We're not going to do this again. And so we took a break for a while, but now the saints are coming back around. And so we've got projects scheduled at different locations, different people's houses, places, that kind of thing. And so, you have to kind of open up a little bit too when you're working with a group. You have to open up yourself. You can't have your own little island over there and be like, well, I'm part of the group, but I don't want the group to be part of me. Does that make sense? And so you have to say, come on. And so we do that. And we also do classes together as a group. I don't put most of those up because most of those I'm teaching. Just like today, I was actually working a fair bit. When I shot the 2 videos I did, I was taking a break because, my stomach's not quite right. We're going to get that addressed next week. But, yeah. So forming your group, you have to spend time together. And it doesn't all have to be going to the range shooting guns, right? It could be picking pears. I could see a thing where you'd go to somebody's house who had a bunch of pear trees, pick the pears, prepare the pears, can the pears, put some pears in the dehydrator, make pear butter outside over a fire, blah, blah, blah. You could do a project like that. I encourage you to think about things you could do with others. And if you don't have a team, a group, a mag, or an extended family, a tribe, why don't you try doing something with the neighbors? Something as simple as a neighborhood, let's walk around with trash bags and pick up trash together, and then we'll all have a barbecue in the cul-de-sac, right? Something like that. Try to work together with people. I think you'll learn a lot. Today on our event, a neighbor stopped by, and I had a really long, nice talk with him. He's a good guy. He raises cattle, and he's starting to get into goats also. Because I guess cattle, he gets paid once a year, and goats, it can kind of be a relatively more constant income stream. And then I met another group of fellas who I don't think they quite know us yet. They were not very comfortable around us. They were on an adjoining property, and they're raising fighting roosters, and they're out of the city. And yeah, I think they thought we were like redneck hell or something, when they saw us. But we're friendly, and they don't know us yet, so they're a little bit standoffish. But we got talking to them about raising roosters and, the livestock guardian dogs they have and stuff like that. And our goal with them is to get to know them better. And if nothing else, be friends and acquaintances, allies, right? We don't have to be best buddies. We don't have to go camping together. As Clint Eastwood said, doesn't mean we're going to take long, hot showers together. But get along with our neighbors, right? Extend the hand of fellowship. So there's just a little bit more going on. If you're going to do something like this, try to pick something where you can include everyone, where everyone can do something productive. It has to be an event where you don't have to super keep your eye on the kids. Another example, those people I told you about that kind of came from the city and they just bought this piece of land they're raising roosters on, they were trying to get a fire going too. They said, that's a good idea. You guys are burning brush. And they tried and they tried and they tried and they couldn't get a fire going. And somebody came over and said, hey, they can't get a fire going. And so I asked two of the dads of the young men, and I said, hey, can we send the boys over there and show them how to build a fire? And they're like, yeah, that'll be good. So they went over there. So check this out. The boys went over there and got a blazing fire going very quickly. That's good for their self-confidence. You know, they go over there. There's 6 men over there that can't get a fire going to save their life. They get on it, build a fire. Fire! It's good for them as young men to see, wow, we have worth. We have worth in the adult world. It was also good, I think, for those neighbors, if you will, to see how capable our people are, right? Something like that. So those are my thoughts on that today. I hope that kind of rounds it out a little bit more. Do you have anything to add, sweetie? No. All right. Y'all take care. Start working on your tribes. I'll see you out there.